Y'all, I have lived in China for a whole year. A whole year! That is wild to me. It is so shocking to me that I'm sitting here making my 1 year anniversary of living in China video. It feels like everything has happened so fast. Quitting my job, packing up my life, and moving across the world has been an adventure of a lifetime. And I feel like I've tried so many things and experienced so many new experiences. And at the same time, it feels like I've barely scratched the surface. It feels like I got here 2 days ago and I'm still trying to figure out everything that Shenzhen and China has to offer. One thing that is 100% true is that living in China has taught me to hold two seemingly opposing ideas at the same time. And it's basically what I'm doing all the time. I'm excited and I'm nervous, I'm happy and I'm sad. I'm meeting so many new people and I'm also feeling kind of lonely. I feel like my life is racing by, but I also feel like everything is on pause while I'm here. And when I actually go back to the United States, that's when when we'll press play and everything will be normal again. It's a weird in-between to live in sometimes, but this is my life. I am living and I'm really trying to make the most of everything that I'm experiencing, every moment that I am here, and trying to live and be present. And it's been interesting. When I first got to China, there were still COVID protocols in place. We were testing every day. I experienced getting put on lockdown. I did the quarantines. I started at my new school. I was doing my work. We were having holidays, but no one was traveling. And by the time December rolled around, all the COVID protocols basically dropped and things were back to normal, which for me was completely new. Since I've reached the 1 year mark, I thought it would be kind of fun to share some of my favorite memories in China, think about some of the things that I thought were going to be true but actually turned out to not be so true, and also think about my goals moving forward. Ew, got it though. So without further ado, here are my expectations of life in China and reality. Number 1, living in China would be really cheap. When I was researching moving to China, one of the things that really was exciting was the lower cost of living. I'd be able to save money. And I'm happy to say that that is mostly true here. I don't spend as much money for the same things that I spend at home. My rent is cheaper, my food is way cheaper, my milk teas are a lot cheaper. One thing I will say is that I do live in a more expensive city in China, one of the most expensive cities in China, and knowing that, it still feels very affordable for me. With my last job, I usually saved or sent home around like $1,000 each month, 1,000 USD. So I would basically live on half my salary and still be able to do all of the things I wanted. There are some things that are pretty comparable to the US. Some things like coffee shops, which I go to way too much. If you're looking for Western food, and one thing that really gets to me is cheese. Like if I'm getting a packet of cheese, it's gonna be like 7 USD. And so I buy cheese sparingly. One of my goals in this upcoming year is to live a more Chinese lifestyle. I want to embrace more of the Chinese foods and learn to cook more Chinese foods, and just don't act as westernized, I guess. Really embrace living here like I am a local, because I am a local technically. Expectation number 2, being a vegetarian would be really easy. I thought, I'm coming to China, there's a lot of Buddhists in China, and Buddhist people tend to not eat meat. You know, tofu is a big thing here. And I wouldn't say that being a vegetarian here is easy necessarily, as easy as I thought it was gonna be, but it is doable. Shenzhen is supposed to be an international city, and it's still growing. It's still very young. I think if I was in a city like Shanghai or Beijing, it would be a lot easier to be a vegetarian. Maybe I would have more choices. Or even in Shenzhen, if I lived in one of the more expat-centered areas, maybe there would be more restaurants with a vegetarian option. But where I live, there's not a ton of options. There is a vegetarian restaurant that I order from sometimes, but it's not as easy as I thought it would be. That being said, there are some dishes that I've come to know and love. Fangxie jidan, I'm probably saying that wrong, which is like tomato and egg. It's like very much like a home meal, like home cooked style meal. This eggplant, braised eggplant, changfen, and my absolute favorite is Shanxi Liangpi. I definitely said that wrong, but Shanxi is like a region in China, and Liangpi is like these cold noodles, which I never thought I'd like cold food. I'm not a sushi person or anything like that, but these noodles, I love them. I get them at least once a week, sometimes twice. I have a problem, and I get them from the same restaurant every time. I tried to branch out one time and get like a slightly cheaper one. It wasn't as good. Shibei is where it's at. One of my goals in this coming year is to branch out, try more Chinese foods, and make more Chinese foods. Expectation number 3. I thought that when I moved to China, I was gonna visit so many new Chinese cities. I haven't really. In the first part of my time here, it was because COVID restrictions locked down basically traveling in the country, and it made it really hard. I was really nervous to travel because I didn't know the regulations in the other places, so I just kind of stayed in Shenzhen, and for all the holidays I would look around locally and do things around here. I have visited one city out of Guangdong province, which is Yangshuo, which I have a video. I haven't posted it. I filmed a video there, which was awesome, but I definitely need to visit more cities in China. What I've done instead, especially in 2023 after restrictions were lifted, is visit Thailand. I went to Thailand for the first time in May, and then I went again last month because y'all, I'm Thailand obsessed. So I definitely think I'll be going back there again before I leave China, but I want to experience as many Chinese cities as I can. Expectation number 4. The Chinese public transportation system is going to be top tier. Reality, it is top tier. I love public transportation. I love being able to navigate a city without a car, and in Shenzhen, it's perfect. It's very nice to be able to travel back and forth here. Shenzhen is really spread out, and I can navigate and get anywhere by metro, and I do it often. It seems like people are kind of insulated in their like respective districts a lot of the time here, but not me. I'm gonna go to all the districts. I need to visit all the districts. I really want to make a video like comparing different Shenzhen districts. That might be coming in the coming year, but Shenzhen's public transportation is awesome. I can't speak for the rest of China because I haven't been to other parts of China, but Guangzhou's was great too. And Hong Kong's is great, whether you say that's China. I'm gonna stop there. Expectation number 5. There would be a huge expat population. I wanted to live in a tier 1 city because I wanted to experience the Chinese culture, but I needed some creature comforts. I needed some people who would be able to speak English. I wanted there to be an expat population, and I wanted to be able to get Western food. Reality, Shenzhen's expat population is not as big as I would have expected it to be, and it's pretty concentrated in specific areas. So the big expat locations usually coincide with like the big international schools where people work. And I don't really live near any of those. That'd be in Nanshan, specifically Shekou and Futian. But there is an expat population here. If you follow me on Instagram or if you've talked to me, you know that one of my big goals in this coming year is to bolster the expat population here in Shenzhen. I already said it once in this video, but Shenzhen is a new city, which means as expats, we kind of have a great role in shaping the way the expat community here is going to be. A lot of my friends who come from other cities to Shenzhen, specifically Shanghai, say that Shenzhen's expat community kind of sucks, which is sad because I know that there's a lot of cool people here, probably, but we are very separated from each other, and the geography of Shenzhen doesn't really make it a lot easier. But I do think that people are seeking connection here and they want to interact with other expats. We just gotta find a way to make it easier for each other. So, expectations, big expat population. Reality, we got some work to do. Expectation number liu. I thought that when I came to China, I would be stared at a lot. But I did not understand how much I would be stared at. I did not understand how people would try to take pictures of me. I did not understand the magnitude of the situation. Like, when I was thinking about it coming here, I was like, oh, it's gonna be so cool. Like, I'm gonna feel famous. Like, it's gonna be whatever. But, it gets so tiring, it gets so obnoxious, and it just feels like so icky because I'm like, have you never seen another human before? I know you have. I'm a human. Stop trying to take pictures of me. Stop staring at me like I'm some animal. It's very frustrating sometimes. I know that a lot of it is curiosity, so that kind of helps me roll it off my shoulders. But one thing that I did not expect, and the reality of the situation is, there is some underlying prejudice in not necessarily the stares, but some of the people's attitudes, which really sucks. I wasn't really expecting to have that be my experience, and I don't think that it's a lot of people's experiences. I've heard from other black people living here in Shenzhen or Guangdong in general that it is a lot worse here in the south than like when they lived in Beijing or when they lived in Shanghai. I think that also has to do with there not being a lot of expats here, so people still aren't used to seeing people who don't look like them. In my classroom, my students thought it was okay to say the N-word towards me, which was super unexpected. So I think that that's been something that's really, really hard for me to deal with, and it's something that I've had to like ground myself in a lot and remember that not everybody's like this. But it really sucks to just realize how pervasive anti-blackness is throughout the world. Like, there's no reason for people to be acting prejudiced towards me here in China. Like, China and black people, we don't have beef. Like, what happened, you know? Like, why don't you have this beef with the colonizers? I don't know. All I'm saying is that was an expectation, then an unexpectation, and then a harsh reality that I've been having to deal with here in China. But it's not everybody, it's not the whole population, but it was something that was pretty shocking to me moving here. Expectation number 7. Learning Mandarin would be tough. This is another expectation that, yeah, I knew it would be tough, but I didn't understand how tough it would be. Before I came to China, I did take 1 semester of Mandarin in college, which I say doesn't even count because I don't remember it. And even though I'm a pretty good language learner, not to brag, but learning Chinese has been super tough for me. And I've also been very scared to just talk and practice my Chinese. So reality, learning Mandarin is really hard. and forcing myself to speak to people is really hard. But people are so willing to help you here, and it's really awesome when people get excited about like me speaking Mandarin and tell me, oh, your Chinese is so good, even though I'm like, I just said ni hao, 我要一杯焦糖玛奇朵. Like, that's, I want a caramel macchiato, which is my go-to because that's what I know how to say best. I am working really hard to learn Chinese. I want to be fluent. I want to 说汉语说得非常好. So I'm gonna keep practicing, keep going to my lessons, and then I actually want to like be able to make videos and converse with people in Chinese during those videos. So hopefully in year 2, that's something that's gonna happen for me. Expectation number 8. My low workload would allow me to have enough time to pursue my creative endeavors. The reality, I did have a low workload. When I was deciding on what type of school I wanted to work at in China, I thought I wanted to work at a public school because I heard that they had the lowest hours out of all the types of schools in China, like kindergartens, training centers, international schools, and I was right. I did have a lot of free time. I would have to be at work from like 8 to 5:35, and I would have anywhere from like 1 to 5 40-minute lessons each day. So that would mean I would have like 7 to 8 hours of free time to do whatever I wanted. I had to be at school, but I was just like on my computer goofing around. And while I did have a lot of free time, I didn't necessarily use it to write a novel or post more consistently on YouTube or finish my CFP course that I still need to finish. But it wasn't completely wasted. I did read a ton, as you might know if you've been on this channel before or follow me on Instagram. And I did actually start implementing morning pages. So I would do my morning pages every day at school usually. If you've read the book The Artist's Way, morning pages, you write 3 pages really quick, or first thing in the morning, or for me, first thing when I get to school. In year 2, I do want to continue to grow as a creative and as a person who like makes my work and shows my work. There's so many things that I want to do and want to try, and it is really scary to be a beginner and just put your work out there for people to see, but there's so many things that I enjoy like doing that why not make something and either keep it for myself and just be proud of myself for making it, or share it with the world. Expectation number 9. I would use my phone a lot in China. Reality, my phone is attached at my hip and my hand. I cannot leave the house without my phone. One time, I left my phone in the back of the cab coming back from being out, and I was actually scared to leave my house without my phone because I realized I couldn't navigate anything. I couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't pay for anything. I could pay for like maybe one thing with cash, like the measly 120 yuan I had. But not having a phone here in China is just not an option. Even this is not funny, but it's weird. It's funny that if you see people on the street like playing, or you know, people asking for money, like it's not like they have like a cup or a hat there for you to put money in. They have a printed picture of their QR code so you can scan their QR code and send them money. That is how digital soft money China is. It's pretty amazing and innovative, like how intense it is. And it's really nice, and going back to the US, it's going to be really hard to actually remember to bring my wallet. Even when I was in Thailand, like I would almost forget to bring my wallet places because I'm not used to having to carry around money. If you come to China, you won't use that phone. Expectation number 10. The last expectation that I had about my life here in China was that I was going to post about my life on YouTube, blow up, and be a star. Reality? Well, you're on my channel. So you can see that I haven't blown up. I am a star in my own heart, but not to all of you, I guess. That doesn't mean that I don't still have those goals. I do want to share my life on YouTube and share my adventures because I find it's a lot of fun for me and my memory's going. So this is going to be great for me to look back in 20 years and remember what the heck I was doing. I have a lot of creative goals, especially for making videos. Like I knew when I came here, I really wanted to make like travel style, Anthony Bourdain-esque, like proper series type work. And it's still something that I want to do. I want to work on my Chinese so I can speak better with other people, like with Chinese people who live here. I want to be able to make like comedy web series. I made like one web series when I was in college, and even though it was really hard work, it was really, and I don't like it, and it's probably never gonna see the light of day, it was still really fulfilling and is still really fulfilling to be able to say, hey, I did that. So I am gonna still be here working and trying to make things that I enjoy and share them with the world because, I mean, why not, right? Why not? So if you want to help me on that journey to being a star, you can go ahead. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, tell your friends, and you know, tell a stranger too about my channel, and then, you know, I can take over the world slowly but surely. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're new, please hit me up in the comments. Let me know what kinds of videos you'd be interested to see, what parts of China you would like to see, or just say hey. I will say hey back. I respond to all my comments because I have nothing better to do. Just kidding, it's because I love you. But I didn't want to scare you away by saying that right away. Okay? Okay. I'll see you next time. 再见. I have been in China for a little year.